Hello everybody, welcome to another lesson of English, which is conditional type 2. This is a very important lesson for all students of high school preparing for the National Baccalaureate exam, as well as for all learners of English as a foreign language, those who would improve their speaking skills. So I'm trying to give very simple examples with simple words so that everybody can understand it easily. Okay, let's get started. The first thing, let's read those two situations. First one, Corona is a very dangerous virus. The government forces people to stay home. This is our case. If Corona weren't a very dangerous virus, the government wouldn't force people to stay home. Situation 2. I don't have a computer now, so I can't give the lesson in PowerPoint. If I had a computer now, I could give the lesson in PowerPoint. Great. Now, let's look at sentences A in both situations again. A, first one, Corona is a very dangerous virus. The government forces people to stay home. I don't have a computer now, so I can't give the lesson in PowerPoint. We can notice that these two sentences they express some real life situations in the present moment. However, sentences B in both situations, they express imaginary situations in the present which have to do with A. In the first situation, if Corona weren't very dangerous virus, the government wouldn't force people to stay home. So we just suppose the opposite case of A, which is a real one. In situation B, if I had a computer now, the reality is I don't have a computer. I just suppose if I had a computer now, I could give the lesson in PowerPoint instead of the board. Right. Sentences B are called conditional type 2. Let's read them again and then deduce the structure we use to express conditional type 2. Let's look at both sentences B in situation 1 and situation 2. They both start with if, which means in condition, in case that. After if comes Corona, I, which is subject. And after the subject, in the first situation, it's weren't, and the second one is had. We understand that we use the verb in the past simple, or simple past by the way. And it should be the opposite of the real situation. The real situation is affirmative, then it's negative in conditional type 2. The real situation is negative in conditional type 2 is affirmative. And then in the result clause, so this is called if clause, the clause that starts with if, we call it an if clause. The result clause starts with, in this case, the government, and in situation 2, I, which means again subject. It can be the same subject, in this case I. It can be a different subject. After the subject comes, in the first situation, wouldn't, in the second one, could. So you can use either would or could. Though there is a slight difference between the two, but you can use them interchangeably. Again, affirmative should be negative and negative should be affirmative. In the first situation, the government forces people. We imagine, we suppose the virus weren't dangerous, the government would not force people. Here, it's, I don't have a computer, so I can't give the lesson in PowerPoint. If I had the computer, I could give the lesson in PowerPoint. So its negative should be affirmative, either would or could. And then after comes the verb in the infinitive form, of course, without to, because there are two forms of the infinitive, either with to or without to. So remember, please, remember this structure, it's very important. If clause, we use if, then subject, then verb in the simple past, and then in the result clause, use subject would or could, or would not or could not. Short form is wouldn't or couldn't, plus the verb in the infinitive without to. Now let's move to practice the lesson. The first practice. For baccalaureate students, these are some of the ways you are going to be tested on this lesson in the national exam. The first case, the question says, put the verb between brackets into correct form. So please, let's apply the structure. If I were rich, I built a big hospital. Here, you can see that the sentence starts with if, then subject, I, then the verb in the simple past, were. You may say that we normally say was, not were. Yes, you are right. We say was with I, he, she, and it, and we use were with you, we, and them. But exceptionally, we use were with all subjects in conditional type 2. Put this in mind. It's preferred, it's more commonly used. If you can remember the expression we use to give advice, we say, if I were you, I would visit the doctor, for example, or go home and sleep. So if I were you, we don't say if I was you, right? This is very common, just to put in mind. So there's if, and then subject, and then the simple past. This is the if clause. If I were rich, my situation is that I am not rich. Okay, so I just imagine I were rich now. What would I do? Okay, the result clause, there's I, which is subject, and between brackets you have the verb build, which is normally in the infinitive. Then the structure says you need to use would or could, one of them, and then the verb should be in the infinitive form. So if I were rich, I would or could, plus the verb in the infinitive, build, I could build a big hospital. Sure, just a spelling mistake. I could build a big hospital. What about you? If you were rich, what would you do? Of course, you might have different answers. Some of you might say, I would buy a big house and a big car, a luxurious car. Some of you might say, if I were rich, I would travel all around the world. Everyone is free to do whatever they like. Good. Number 2, if I live in New York, I could speak English more fluently. All right, just suppose I live in New York. My real situation is that I don't live in New York, I live in Morocco. I just suppose, in case, I live in New York. So there's if, remember, and then subject, I, the verb live. To put the verb in the simple past, you need to check the result clause. Let's check the result clause. It's I could or would speak English more fluently. That's I, which is subject. Then there's would, and the verb speak in the infinitive. So it's automatically you need to use the simple past. The simple past of the verb live is lived. Great. This is one way. Second way, practice 2. In the second situation, you might be asked, rewrite, this is the instruction we give in the exam, rewrite the following sentence beginning with the words given. Read the situation. Linda doesn't have a friend. Maybe a boyfriend, maybe just a friend, okay. We don't care anyway. That's why she feels lonely. That's her real situation in the present. She does not have a friend and she feels lonely. We just suppose if Linda, the first thing you do, you need to read your sentence. Does it have to do with present? Please underline present. It should be in the present. Linda doesn't have, of course this is present simple of the verb have, negative form, and that's why she feels. Okay, it's present simple, then automatically you need to use conditional type 2. Great. What you have to be careful with is affirmative should be negative and negative should be affirmative. Linda doesn't have a friend, negative, and she feels lonely, affirmative. So we need to make this affirmative and this negative the opposite way. Great. So if Linda, that's if, and Linda subject, we need to use the verb in the simple past. The verb have in the simple past is had. Doesn't express the negative form in the present simple, so we don't use it in the conditional type 2. If Linda had a friend, you need to put comma. That's why it's just a linking word, which I use here to help you understand the situation. Just as in my second situation, I use the expression so. Sometimes we use so, sometimes we use that's why, sometimes we use no linking word, just a dot between the two sentences. So we need to understand your given situation first. If Linda had a friend, we need subject. In this case, it's the same one, she. We need to use would or could. Let's say would. And because the verb is affirmative, then it should be negative. Then we have to say wouldn't. She wouldn't. And then the verb feel should be in the infinitive without you. She wouldn't feel lonely. That's the lesson in brief. Thank you very much for watching and hope to see you next time with another video, with another lesson. Bye for now.